Do you have the winning mindset? Do you know what it takes to go to the next level? Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Join us every week for the Winning Mindset Podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Winning Mindset Podcast. My name is Monica Nisi Earl Washington. I am the host with Miss Christian Davis, who is also the great host. Today, we have another great winning mindset author. You don't want to miss this. I don't even know where to start with this beautiful sister. Do we want to talk about the brand development and so many things she got? But one thing we're going to talk about, the price is the price. Today, Miss Adrienne E. Bell is here with us today. Miss Adrienne Bell, how are you doing, my beautiful sister?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Very well, very well, very well.
Good.
I'm going to turn everything over to Miss Christian Davis, the great host of this Winning Mindset podcast, that's going to jump right into all this greatness that you have. Miss Christian, take it away.
Thank you, Miss Nisi. So we're going to jump right into it. Go ahead, if you don't mind, and just kind of tell us and tell the people a little bit about your background and all these great accomplishments that we know about, but we want everyone else to know about.
Sure. So again, my name is Adrienne E. Bell. It is important that the E is in there. Okay. Adrienne E. Bell. I am a 23-time Amazon best-selling publisher. I am a film director and producer. I have a movie on Amazon Prime right now. And I am also a brand management expert. So my job is to help my clients become remarkable, outstanding, and legendary in their life and business. So that's what I get to do every day.
That is amazing. And you just mentioned so many things. My mind's going a million miles a minute, saying which thing should we start with first? I will start with just kind of asking, since we're talking about the winning mindset and resiliency and overcoming and working through things. Talk to us a little bit about an obstacle that's helped you kind of become the woman that you are today.
Thank you for that question. I was the clap back queen. Okay. Customer or not. I always had a rebuttal, and I had to learn. Sometimes it's yes, sir, no, ma'am. Sometimes it's I apologize. I dropped the ball, or I probably didn't drop the ball, but so that we can move the project along, I'm gonna own it. And sometimes that's probably been the biggest challenge as a business owner, owning something that was not my fault. And I don't always believe in the customer is always right, but I do believe if the customer paid their invoice, it's my job to make it right, even if they were wrong. And that was a tough lesson. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 9 years. I have a finance background, so I had been in corporate America for over 15 years. And so when I started my own business, when you're in corporate America, you can just blame your boss or blame your higher up and be like, blame the policy that does not exist, right? But when you're the owner, sometimes you just have to be like, man, it is what it is. So that I would say that was the biggest challenge that I had during my journey as an entrepreneur.
Wow, that's a big one. Just just saying, okay, I know this is wrong. I know you're wrong. I have a rebuttal for you, but we're gonna pull it back a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it takes maturity, it takes maturity. And I wasn't always mature. I wasn't always, just like, okay, I always had to go back. It was always tit for tat. And that's not, when you spend more time on that, you could be spending more time on making more money versus going back and forth with a client that you could just finish the job and move on to the next thing.
Absolutely. And that's a big lesson. So I hope everyone's hearing that. We don't always have to respond to everything all the
It's
time.
tough. It's tough.
And you may have kind of answered this already going into it, but just thinking again about the winning mindset, and some things you're overcoming, some things you've learned. Talk a little bit about your chapter and what the winning mindset looks like to you.
Sure. So the winning mindset is a wonderful concept that our amazing founder, Sugar Ray Destin Jr., was birthed straight from heaven. And I'm just so happy that he, picked us to be a part of his vision. And I'm always going to honor him for that. So what it mean, I mean, I live a life of winning, right? I live a life of, if I'm not winning, what we doing? If we're not winning, we might as well stay in the bed, right? So everything is about winning, not winning over someone, but I'm big on everybody winning. How can everybody win? How can everybody eat? How can everybody get a piece of this pie? And sometimes, especially Black and brown people, we tend to have a crab in the barrel mentality. And so I just don't operate that way. I don't care if you are a publisher, you do the same exact thing that I do. You don't do it the way I do it. So it doesn't matter, right? So to me, that's a winning mindset. I work with other publishers where I might close the deal for them and then they do the rest of the work, right? But we're all winning, we're all eating. As far as my chapter, The Price is the Price, I had a blast writing that. That's kind of been my signature talk, if you will, that I always have with my entrepreneurs, because one of the major challenges that most entrepreneurs have is pricing their services the right way, their products and services the right way. And they end up not making a profit because they're like, oh, well, I'm new to the game and I'm new. And I get it. I understand. But if 5 years from now, you're still talking about you new to the game and you still haven't made no money, it's a hobby. It's not a business, right? So at some point, or you just need to say, hey, you know what? This is not for me. Let me step back and let me do something different. And so without giving away the chapter, you got to go get the book. But I'm really honing in and encouraging you how to set the price properly. For example, I will give this tip away. So if a project is going to take you 40 hours to complete, and you're only going to charge the client $500. Okay, that means you got paid less than minimum wage to get the job done, right? So you got to think about how much time is it going to take me to get this done? And you got to price your price so that you actually can walk away with the profit, right? I think 50% margins and higher are the best way to run a business. Anything 50% and lower, in my 49% and lower, you're not really making money because you can't put it back in the business and you can't pay yourself, right? So I really wanted to hone in. A lot of people will give you tips on marketing and social media and all of that stuff, and that's cool, but you don't have a business if you're not making money. So, but a lot of the times pricing is a major issue, and I want to make sure that our entrepreneurs do better at pricing themselves and that they're paid what they're worth.
That is big. I knew you were going to drop some gems on us. And that's important. That's super important. Miss Nisi, were you going to chime in too?
Boom.
That's it. Mic drop. Boom.
That's my favorite thing for her to say. Boom.
Boom. That means the points were made. And I'm probably going to circle back around to that because that's a big one, because a lot of times a lot of us get into entrepreneurship and it's great and it's our identity and we love it. But for the sake of entrepreneurship is not enough. You need to be making some money to pay yourself. So absolutely. That was some cold water on the face. So describe a time that you had to apply that winning mindset. That's so important. What time, when's the time that you had to just stop and say, let me redirect, let me apply this mindset, and it kind of.
As far as the applying the winning mindset, I would have to say I reached an identity crisis in my business about halfway through. Because I was really good at marketing. I'm really good at systems and protocols and all of those things. But then I had clients that wanted me to manage their brands. And I'm like, I can't do all of this stuff. And I had to say, wait a minute, I can do this. I just had to build the right teams. That's where I failed in the beginning. I didn't have the right team. I was doing everything, right? And if you really want to scale and you want to grow, you can't do everything. And the days of the solopreneur are over. The days of, I'm just going to do everything. That's just, you just can't win that way. You can't win long term. I'll say that. And so I think that was the biggest challenge in my business halfway through, about 4 years in, and applying that. How am I'm losing now because I'm spending more time doing things that I could delegate. So I had to build a team, and part of the winning mindset is knowing when it's time to build a team. And so it took me a while, but I got to it. I was always apprehensive of delegating because I could control it if I did it, but if I left it in the hands of someone else, it's kind of like the client doesn't want to hear, oh, this person is sick, or this person is whatever. They don't care. All they know is you dropped the ball and it's all back on you. But if it was me, then I could control it, right? And I realized that in order to grow, that's just not going to work. So that's part of the winning mindset shift for me, is that I knew I needed a team in order if I really wanted to win.
So I'm going to ask this. I know it's a loaded question and there's no right answer, but we're going to try.
Okay.
When you started delegating and creating that team,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say is the right time for an entrepreneur to say, maybe I should start delegating this out? We know at the front end, you're still trying to build and make enough money to have the team, but is there a sweet spot where someone can just kind of say, okay, this is around the time where I should start considering this?
That's a great question. So the sweet spot is when you have enough in your pipeline, I'll say in queue, right? So for example, let's say if I charge $10,000 per package. Well, if I have 5 packages worth $50,000 in my pipeline, and I know I'm not going to be able to do it all alone, then I know, okay, I can share 50% of that with this person, with this person, with this person, and then I can keep doing the same. I can keep doing what I like to do. I like to sell. I like sales. Most entrepreneurs don't like sales. They're like, I hate it. I don't want to do it. It sucks. I'm like, well, sweetie, you're not in business if you ain't selling, right? But that's where I have the ability to close. Whereas some of my other business owners or partners are introverts. They don't want to talk to people, but they do want to make money. So I said, you know what? Let me close the business and you do the job. And that was the sweet spot where I wanted to, you have to have more people, more in your pipeline and close more. And how you manage your pipeline is you put everybody on a schedule. So, but you got to get in my think tank, for me to tell you how to do that. Okay. Cause y'all thought y'all was gonna write it down, be like, first thing first. No,
absolutely. Seriously. I was typing notes like,
but your pipeline, once your pipeline gets to a certain amount where you can live comfortably and share the profit, that's when you know, like, okay, it's time for me to branch out, because I can't service the client, do the job, do the sales, do the marketing. I can't do it all. And so I always tell people, you need a brand. Everybody needs a brand manager, everybody. And a brand manager is your chief operating officer for your company. People often think a brand manager is your executive assistant. That is not the same person. Your brand manager, your COO, is the person that makes sure your business keeps running. Now, Adrienne, I have the spiritual gift of administration. So sometimes business owners get frustrated because they're like, well, I'm not administrative. Don't feel bad, because if it's a grace on your life, you're going to just move different. So I can move different because I have that grace. Now, if I don't have that grace and I'm just really good at sales or really good at marketing or really good at this, but I'm not good at anything else, follow up, closing the loop, whatever, that's when you know, okay, this is where I'm weak. I'm weak on social media. So I need to find a social media manager. I'm weak on sales. So I need to get somebody that I can pay a commission to help me close deals. I need to get a graphic designer that I can pay on retainer. And that way I know how much I'm paying every month. I'm not paying $50 here, $35 here, $200 here. I'm paying an exact amount every single month. So when you build your team, it's only when you know that you can still live comfortably and you have enough in your pipeline and you keep that pipeline going, keep closing business, and then you just schedule your clients out so that everybody's stuff isn't due on the same date. right? And then while you're working on, for example, with books, I might have one person working on a cover for one book. I might have somebody else working on the formatting for another book. I might have another person doing editing for another book, but all of the assembly line is working. But the sales start with me and the launch starts or ends with me, right? But everything in the middle, I've delegated. That way I can do what I love. And so that's the best way to know when it's time to delegate.
Wow. I was trying to write and listen at this or type and listen at the same time. That is perfect. And you said another one and I said, oh, pinpoint. So talk a little bit more, if you don't mind, about knowing what your gift is, because you were able to just say straight up, this is my spiritual gift of administration. This is what I'm good at. When someone's wondering, I want to change the world. I want to do this. I want to have this great effect. Where do they start with identifying what's my gift? How do they know that?
Sure. Well, they have to call me. They have to hire me for their think tank. And that's what I do. I do think tanks with a lot of my CEOs where I start off, let's find out what your spiritual gifts are, because you might be in an industry that you're just not good at. And I'm like, girl, you want to do this and you can't, no, like you need to be doing this. And then we end up, because sometimes just because you see another person making money doesn't mean you are gifted to make money in that area, right? So you have to decide, for example, doing hair. I ain't got no hair, so I'm not going to do no hair. Okay. Now, I don't have no hair by choice, but that's not my gifting. That's not what I want to do. That's not who I am. Now, can I go and open up a business and hire other stylists to do the hair? Absolutely. But me doing the hair is not my gift. So when I meet with my clients, I do a 3-hour think tank with all of my clients. And I sit down, because I don't care what you're doing, launching a product, a business, a book. If you don't know who you are and what your gifts are, how you're going to monetize even the smallest things, then what are you doing? You're wasting time. You're wasting money on things that are, I have ladies who say, I want to open a boutique. Ma'am, you don't go shopping at all. So why would you open a boutique and you don't shop? So you got to think about, oh, yeah. So you saw your friend open a boutique and you're thinking, oh, she making money hand over fist. But your friend is also posting every day her outfit of the day, right? All things work together. I know this is not a Bible study, but the Bible says that all things work together, and that includes your spiritual gifts. I know my spiritual gifts because I've studied them since I was 15. And so I check to see if, like, I score real low in mercy. I don't got the gift of mercy. That ain't my gift. Okay. I leave that up to my husband. He's the mercy guy. Okay. But for me, I have I have there's the motivational gifts, and then there's the spiritual active gifts and things, the gifts of how you administrate and deal with other people. But as far as administration, if you're good at like, for example, our founder, Sugar Ray, he's not a pastor, but he does pastor us to a degree, because there's a thing that he does where he's able to gather us and round us up, right? So when you know your spiritual gifts, honestly, and I don't care if you're a Muslim, I don't care who you are, I don't care who you serve, I don't care if you serve the universe, the carrots, the animals, I don't care. You still need to know what you are spiritually good at, what you're naturally good at. Some people are natural encouragers. So if you're a natural encourager, being a life coach might actually work for you. If you don't like people, you should not be a life coach. Anything that has people management and you're just like, that's not, I'm more of a systems person. Okay, then we need to start a business where you only deal with systems, right? So that's part of what I do when I do intake for my clients, is let's find out what you're good at and how we can monetize each and every gift that you have. And in my personal opinion, I think every entrepreneur has at least 6 to 7 streams of income based on their natural ability. People will be like, oh, I'm into real estate. Girl, you don't own your house. Like, I get it, but like, be in a niche that you've mastered, right? Now, if it's a thing that you want to learn to do, that's one thing. But then don't try to charge people $15,000 for something that has not been proven. Right. So those are the kind of things that we work through. And so finding out your spiritual gifts, or even just your natural talent, if we don't want to be too spiritual, just your natural gifting. What are you good at? What have you done for free? I asked a client, what have you done for free that other people have been successful at? They've helped them launch businesses. They helped. I was like, well, why didn't you charge them for that? Oh, I just wanted to help them. But now you need help. Right. But maybe if you would have just packaged it and this is something that you're good at, and obviously your fruit is working, that lets you know that's a business and you're good at it. And so I'm really good at helping people find out what they're really good at. And because of my spiritual gift administration, the reason I brought that up was to say I didn't need to delegate a lot of things because I was naturally good at answering emails, answering calls, doing social media, doing sales. So I could do it all. But just because I can do it all doesn't mean I should, right? So you make the dress, you buy the pattern, you make the pattern, you go get the rhinestones, you crunch up the rhinestones. Like, girl, no, you need an assembly line to get you to where you're going if you're going to scale and grow. And that's what I did so wrong in my business for so long. I did not set myself up to scale. I set myself up to succeed, to hit the mark, but I missed the mark when it came to going to the next level. And so now I'm like on this mission. I've totally restructured my own business and I'm so excited about what I'm going to be doing next year. But anyway, in 2023, but everybody, I don't care who you are. That's why it's so good to do annual or quarterly reporting or quarterly reviews, monthly reviews, yearly reviews. So, you know, are we wasting our time? What do we need to, it's called KSM, keep, stop, modify. What do I need to keep doing? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to modify? Right? Doing that SWOT analysis. SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What's threatening my business? Why am I losing so much money? Why are my clients not paying their bills? Are my prices too high? Am I marketing to the wrong people? It's all of those things that help us cultivate our winning mindset, and then we won't feel so defeated if we know what our gifts are.
So what I take away from that is I need to sign up for this think tank because you just give it to we gotta at some point we gotta sign up.
Ready, honey. Yeah. Recently, I was like, girl, what? And he was like, huh. So that's a thing. It's a real thing. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I needed to hear that one because I'm just like, entrepreneurship, these things I don't like so much. What does that mean? Maybe shift a little bit. So yeah, that was needed. But you're again, you've got all the good answers here. So I love it. And you kind of brought me into the next question I was going to ask, which is what are some things that you're working on? You already kind of gave us a snippet there, but tell us about some of the other stuff you got going on.
Well, you know, I'm starting, my business partner and I are starting a tech company, which I'm really excited about. I can't go into too much detail, but just know it has to do with a lot of Black and brown people being put more on display in 2023 and beyond. Has a lot to do with the metaverse. Has a lot to do with just the whole virtual reality experience as a whole. And so I'm really, really excited about the new tech company. So I'm actually not going to be publishing anymore. I will still have my handful of brand management clients that will not let me go. I have tried to pay some of them to leave me alone and they will not. And so they're like, listen, I will give you my firstborn. I will clean your house. I will do. I'm like, I don't want to work with y'all. Like, I want to do me. And they're like, can you do us? Can we all do? So I'll still be doing brand management for my clients, still planning events for major events. That's one of my passions is planning events, because I feel like events are free marketing and people look at it as a headache, but it's marketing. You have a bunch of people in a room that you can impact in a very small amount of time. And I can't tell you just about every business deal I've closed. I've never done a Black Friday sale. I've never done a flyer promoting my business. My business is 100% word of mouth, 100% exclusive as it relates to who you know, right? Invitation only. Now, I didn't set it up that way, but that's just how it happened, right? And so I want to make sure that we have that same excitement over in our new industry. So I have the tech company that I'm starting. I'm also starting a real estate firm with my children. My husband and I are empty nesters now. And so we are going to empower them to run their own. Our daughter goes to Prairie View A&M University. She's a freshman there, so she's majoring in marketing. So she'll be handling the marketing side of our real estate company, and she'll be handling like she wants to work with Black and brown farmers, and she wants to be a real estate appraiser. So she'll handle all those parts of our business, and then our son will run the Airbnb side of our business. So we're really excited about that. So yeah, so really just elevating is the word for me for 2023, is going to the next, not just the next level, but that level of elevation. And I'm really excited, even with all of the challenges that I've had in this last almost 10 years as an entrepreneur. It's been rough, but I'm thankful for the challenges because I learned so much. I learned that I'm stronger than I even though I have a strong personality, but I was still sad sometimes. I still second guessed myself. I still had imposter syndrome. Like, am I really this dope? Like, am I really this and that? And then I would kind of shy away. And even though I'm an extrovert, there were days that I had introverted days where I didn't feel like talking to nobody and didn't, right? And so I really had to, so I'm able to take all of those experiences and then help go to the next level and help others do the same.
Wow. Again, if y'all haven't worked with Miss Adrienne E. Bell before, make sure you do, because she's just dropping truth bombs all over the place. Before we get out of here, Miss Nisi, did you have any other questions or anything that stuck out that we hadn't covered already?
Everything has been covered. I learned a assembly line. I've already fired some people, but before I hire people, I need to get my assembly line together. I need to restructure some things, and I truly understand now why the price is the price. It is what it is. You brought a lot of stuff out. This Winning Mindset podcast is a winner, because you're telling everybody how to know their worth,
Absolutely,
their value of who they are. Then you can start going to the next level. 49 and under, there's no need to get out of bed, because what we doing, we ain't winning. 50 and above, got it. Appreciate you, Miss Asian. Go ahead, Miss Christian. It was just too much.
Right? I'm just thinking like, borrowing the elevation
so much.
23 and borrowing a couple things here that I wrote down, and I'll just credit you when I steal it.
I mean, right
But
now,
I am stealing it.
I got to go back and listen to this podcast, because she just basically told her anything else that you call it a business, it's not making money, it's just a hobby. It's just a hobby. Did you catch that? It's just a hobby. But the assembly line is very vital in this particular podcast, because you need to have the right people doing it. Even if you can do the things, you got to have the right people lined up. So yeah, there was a lot of powerful things with this from 49 and other. We ain't don't need to get out of bed. What we doing? We ain't winning. You want everybody to win. How can everybody, and that was another thing that you said, Ms. Adrienne, how can everybody win? How can we all eat? And that is very powerful. Just like you said, the crabs and the mindset, pulling people down, that crab mentality, you only worried about one person, but see, you already made it perfectly clear. What can we do for everybody to win? Now that, yeah, I got to go fire some people.
Uh-oh. There you go.
And if I could interject this one thing, just that this last thing is, and be unapologetic about saying, hey, you know what? This is not a good fit for me. This isn't working for me. It's not aligning for me. I fired my friends. I fired people y'all know. I'll be like, love you, but I can't. I'll do this with you, but I can't do this, because there those boundaries in business are so important. So it's more than just pricing, it's more than just the assembly line, but those boundaries, what you will and will not do. Stop working 24 hours a day. I was a workaholic. I worked all the time. And I worked more as a business owner than I did in corporate America. And so I realized, wait a minute, one of the perks of being an entrepreneur is I get to set my own schedule. So I was making my clients make me work for them. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I work here job. Like, you can't tell me when to work, right? And so I just wanted to just interject that please don't just do the assembly line, just fire people, just hire the right people, but also set boundaries once and let them know, here's the deal breaker. When this happens, we're done. And what it does is you can say, I told you this was the deal breaker, and then you move on to the next thing. Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm excited about the winning mindset.
Yes.
I love it. And I love that unapologetic. That was to me. I apologize after I'll do something and say, I'm so sorry. Every time it's just a habit. And people have said, stop doing that if that's what you meant when you said it. And usually it is. So duly noted. Last thing, Miss Adrienne E. Bell, if you don't mind, could you tell us where we can find you on social media and if you have any websites?
So my website is therealab.com, TheRealAB.com. And you can just contact me there. If you have any questions, you want to do a think tank, we help with nonprofit development. We do grant writing and proposals. We plan parties, launch. When I say parties, not retirement parties, we're talking about business launch parties. Okay. We're talking about business showers. We're talking about anything that's going to put your business in the stratosphere. Our job is to get it out there. Marketing, any type of, I just brought on a publicist that handles all of my media relations. Even though I know how to do press releases, I don't want to do that. Even though I can get you on TV, I don't want to do that. So I have somebody to do that, right? So please give us a call, give us or go to my website, therealab.com. Just send me a note and say, hey, this is what I need. I need a think tank. I don't even know what I want to ask you. I just know that I need to talk to you about something. And how it works is, once you decide you want to do the think tank, we'll talk about what all happens. I'll send you homework, because there is homework, and then we go over that homework together, and then we make a plan for the next 18 months. And that includes a revenue plan, right? How are you going to make money? When people have coaches, how you got a business coach that ain't help you make no money? Like, where they do that at, right? So I'm not a business coach, but I am a brand management expert. And if I don't have the answer, I know someone who does.
Well, there you have it. So I can't even begin to start telling you how valuable this all was, but we just definitely thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge and dropping those gems for us. And for everyone listening, I hope you got a lot out of this. Thank you, Adrienne, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate everyone for listening. Tune in next time for our next episode of the Winning Mindset Podcast. Thanks, guys.